anyone who gives 50 years of their life to public service in whatever form of public service deserves the respect of each and every one of us. But I do believe it is time, in this rather historic moment that we're living in, to see some change. And by the way, what I just said about this being a historic moment, I mean that literally. You know, in the last year, most of us have been experiencing things. We've been living our life. We've been staying busy. And we just do what we do. And so do I. I mean, it's life, right? In the last year, the lowest interest rate ever paid by the United States government on 10-year Treasury bills took place at 1.7%. You loan your money to the Feds for 10 years, and they would pay you the whopping sum of 1.7%. And the important point of that is the reason the rate is so low is because the Feds are artificially driving the number way, way, way down. It's never been done before. In the last year, for the first time in American history, in peacetime, we've seen our national debt grow to the level of the gross domestic product of the United States. The sum value of all the goods and services and everything manufactured, everything delivered in the United States is now the same size as our national debt, because the debt has grown. And by the way, the debt's growing faster than our GDP is growing. You probably didn't notice this one. This one's down in the weeds a little bit. But about 5 months ago, and ever since the first measure was taking place, which was back in 1850, but probably for the first time in all of American history since pre-American Revolution, there is now less investment capital flowing into the United States than going out. This has never been recorded until about 4 months ago, when for the first time in American history, our investment capital ratio went negative. And that's a very dangerous sign. And last but not least, you will remember, in August of last year, for the first time ever in American history, we saw the credit rating of the United States of America downgraded. Yep. This is an historic time, and it requires a response of something other than let's do what we were doing before. We've got to change course. As I said, Mr. Lugar is a good person. He is an honorable man. He has served us long and served us well. But the reason I'm in this race, doing something, frankly, I never, ever, in my wildest dreams, thought I would do, is I've come to realize through my 31 years in the business world, in the private sector, through my time in the financial world, I have some skills, I have some energies, I certainly have the enthusiasm to try to get America back on a more conservative course. You know, Mr. Lugar, again, for all he's done well, I don't think you can say you're a conservative when you vote to put Sonia Sotomayor and Elena Kagan on the United States Supreme Court. I don't think when you vote for the TARP program, you can say you're a conservative. I don't think when you vote for the stimulus program, you can claim to be a conservative. I don't think when you vote to use Social Security funds to help illegal aliens, you can say you are a conservative. I don't think you can say you're a conservative when you get behind and push through the Senate Barack Obama's START treaty, which weakens America, causes us to bring our defenses down, and basically allows the Russians to continue to build theirs up. Yep. You know, there are many issues. I don't think you're a conservative if you believe that Israel should have its borders withdrawn to the 1967 boundaries, which is what Mr. Lugar supports. Yep. You know, it's time for a more conservative outlook. And all those things I just mentioned, and there are many, many more, I disagree with Mr. Lugar on, and I'm willing to fight for. I will tell you, it is a beautiful thing to be 60 years old, to run for an office that, frankly, I don't have to have. I don't need it financially. I don't need it in the sense of my ego. Frankly, there's a lot of things I'd rather be doing rather than this. And I mean that most sincerely. Having been on the statewide campaign trail now for 3 straight years, I'll tell you, this is tough duty. But I'm doing it because I love America, as I know all of you do. I cherish our history, and especially when I see young people today. I am greatly concerned about the burden we are putting on their shoulders. We are ripping away their heritage and expectations, and it's wrong that we do that. It is time to take a tougher stand. Mr. Lugar is known to be collegial. He's known to be almost professorial. He's known to be very bipartisan. And to my heart of hearts, I believe it is bipartisanship that has taken us to the brink of bankruptcy. Right. We don't need bipartisanship. We need to stand by the principle that says we live within our means, that we make people feel that they have a sense of responsibility, and that the government is not the source of everything you want, whenever you want it, whenever you need it, at the cost it comes to somebody else.
Amen.
We've got to get the country back on the right track. And I'll close with this. I'll be glad to take questions if any of you have any. But I close with this. You know, it was exactly 100 years ago, to this very moment, right now, 100 years ago, this very moment, a great ship was heading across the North Atlantic. It was heading across the North Atlantic with the most experienced crew that had ever been put on a passenger liner. And quite honestly, they weren't paying attention. You know, they'd crossed the Atlantic so many times, they knew what it was. You know, we'll make it across. And besides that, they had the comfort of knowing they were on the greatest ship ever built, and they were even told it was unsinkable. Tomorrow, of course, is the 100th anniversary of the sinking of the Titanic. For the last 35 years, we have been on a course through ever more dangerous waters. The icebergs are out there. They are labeled our national debt. They are labeled an entitlement society. They are labeled the strangling regulations that kill American businesses. They are labeled under Obamaism the weakening of America in a more dangerous world. We have a very experienced crew. Call it the Congress. And most of them, I believe, think, we've been here before. We've done this. We've been through these waters. We'll get through. Besides, this is the greatest country in the world. What can happen to you? There are icebergs out there, and we have to change course. I'm running for the U.S. Senate because I'm ready to fight the fight to change the course. Frankly, I'm more frustrated with Republicans than with Democrats.
Me too.
I have no sense of expectations that Democrats will do the right thing. But I see Republicans, even many of them who most of the time will vote the right way, but they won't come back and make the argument why other people should understand what it is they just did. You know, I so admire Paul Ryan from Wisconsin, the congressman. He puts out a budget plan, and he becomes a target. And he stands his ground, and he makes his argument. And if he has to, he changes the plan and comes back with something different. And yet, where are all the others that we send to Washington to be vocal and stand up for our values and bring more to our cause? That's the senator I want to be. I will tell you from the polling, we've got a fantastic shot 5 days from now of being the Republican nominee. Mr. Lugar, get ready, because we know it's coming. He has, I mean, the polling data are so clear, there's only one way he wins. Only one way, and that is to absolutely destroy Richard Mourdock. There's going to be stuff that you're going to see. It's going to fill your mailboxes. You're going to hear it on the radio. You're going to see it on TV. And it's going to get worse and worse and worse. Yesterday, they announced something called the American Action Network. Is that right? Name doesn't sound right. American Action Network, something like that. It's a Republican PAC. It's putting $600,000 of negative ads in against me.
Wow.
Which begs the question, what kind of group of Republicans spends that kind of money to support someone that's from the nickname Barack Obama's favorite Republican? I think it's not the people who are conservative, because apparently they don't think a conservative can win in Indiana. And I'm here to tell you they're wrong, and we're going to. We're going to win on May 8th, and we're going to win in November. And with your help, we're going to get it done. Good. Thank you all for being here. Help us spread our name around, spread the campaign name around. If you can work for us, we're asking people. You know, I see the young people these days. Help me out here, sir. Give me 5. You know, we're saying, give me 6. Give me 6 hours between now and Election Day. If you could work 6 hours at a poll on Election Day, so the last thing anyone hears when they walk in is, vote for Richard Mourdock, it's time. If you could work a phone bank for us, you know, an hour a day for 6 days to help turn out voters, that would be fabulous. If you can find a way to give me 6 hours, we've had over 3,000 people in Indiana sign up to be our volunteers. We've given away over 5,000 of those shirts, by the way. So get ready, you're going to see some more of those in the next few days. But with that kind of energy out there, with that kind of messaging, with that volunteer base, if we can get those people all motivated to give us 6, we're going to win this thing on the ball. So really, again, appreciate it. I know I'm in a campaign headquarters and I walk in and the smell of donuts. Somebody had a question.
And my fear is Obama